What's up? It's 42 Tribes, and this will be a quick video. It's been about years, really, maybe about a year and a half, where I just started thinking, you know what, Ak is pretty wise. Brother Ak is pretty wise. He's one of the few people I've quoted on my channel. And he did it again. He said something that was something that just so often goes unsaid, which is why you end up in circular arguments with people. And he's having a discussion / debate with this dude, Jamie. Jamie is one of them albinos that are classified as white. He says something to him that, especially in this age, with what we're going through right now, you know, the current events, I too often hear a plea for acknowledgement. And I'm going to go in and do some more about the root later. I thought I was done with the root. I actually thought I was too hard on them until that whole thing attacking heterosexual black men. No, there were some issues with that I want to go into more depth with than others have, and other things that have to do with the root, not just that article. One of the issues I had with that article that people didn't really talk about was that it seemed like they just wanted acknowledgement. At one point they say something like, I don't remember, I haven't read it in a while, that we want white people to acknowledge racism. And, you know, and likewise, they were kind of making an analogy how black men need to acknowledge their issues, whatever their issues are. I don't remember the context. And when I hear that, it's powerless speech. Like, I can tell when something is not black owned or if it's owned by a hucklebuck. Now, I think some Latino company owns the root, whatever. But I can just tell powerless speech. Powerless speech is, I'm satisfied by someone else acknowledging something. And I give a damn. Look, first of all, I can find plenty of albinos who are classified as white in different countries where they have this white race thing. I can find them, and they will admit that racism exists. They will acknowledge that other people of their common ilk have screwed over the world in many ways. There's plenty of people who will acknowledge that. There's plenty, like I get on black men when they say, well, before we do X, black women need to be held accountable. I'm like, what? Before you do something, you want some, look, okay. I know a black woman that will admit that black women fucked up. Now can you do something? You know what I mean? And that's the same thing I get. That's powerless speech. That's, I'm satisfied or I'm sated with someone else's opinion. I don't understand it. Watch as Aunt cuts through all that. And I hear this coming from even people who are quote unquote woke. They, you know, let's talk about racism. We talk about it, and they're angry and stuff. Watch what Ankh does. Ankh cuts to the chase in a way that all melanated people need to. Because, and he uses an example, when other people get on code, you'll see what I mean. You know, he uses an example. And to this dude's credit, Jamie does something that all people should do. You'll see what I'm talking about. So you'll get the context when I run this, and I'll just drop the mic and leave it at that. See you soon.
Well, I wasn't getting too splitting hairs too much. I'm just kind of nuancing a point that if culture can change, let's change it for the better, and we're the ones to do it, and our children are the ones to do it.
Yeah, but we ain't trusting that though. We ain't gonna. Hey, check this out. Let me give you what the real problem is. Let's deal with this for real. Here's the real problem. Check this out, man. Crime against humanity, crime against the Africans, and crime against humanity, right? Now, when Adolf Hitler did what he did to the Jewish people, right? Germany had to pay them people. Am I not right or wrong? When the United States did that to the Japanese, man, they had to pay them people, man. The fundamental problem here is that the Europeans refuse to pay the Africans.
The Japanese ever received anything. I don't know that the Japanese ever received reparations for being in internment camps.
They did. For dropping that bomb, they aid and all that. For dropping those bombs on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, they did. They absolutely did.
Oh, okay. Yes, not the Japanese here interred in the United States. Actually, people living in Japan.
You say what?
The Japanese people who were interred in internment camps didn't receive reparation, but the Japanese people who got bombs dropped on them, that the country of Japan received financial aid, is what you're saying.
No, I'm saying I thought the people over here got that too. I could be wrong. You got a source for it?
Yeah, I don't think they did. I don't think they did, but I mean, I take your point, and it's a good one.
Okay. Yeah, right. And so the point I'm making is, right, you can apologize all you want. You know what I'm saying? The problem is that they refuse to kick out that money that they know they own. You know, because we put in a situation based off of lack of resources, right, that is hard to come back from. And we always find ourselves fighting to the top. And that's the point I want to make. At the end of the day, man, they got to give us that money back, man. You talking about the global kidnapping trade. You know, everybody is functioning off of the backs of African people under the resources.
I want to break in and tell you something real quick. In 1988, President Reagan signed an act to give every living person that was in a Japanese internment camp $20,000 and apologized to them. So you were right.
No, you said what? Say it again.
In 1988, President Reagan signed an act that gave anyone who was in an internment camp for the Japanese prisoners of war in the United States, they received a formal apology and $20,000.
Right.
So I just didn't want, just for the sake of intellectual honesty, I just wanted to let you know you were right. I didn't want people to think I was glossing over something.
Yeah, I knew I had you. I just want to see how long it took you.
So, Unc and Jamie, so let's just